Ramon Foster talks to us about the position he played for 11 years in the National Football League, left guard, in the Titans left guard, Peter Skoronski, who had not allowed a sack, Ramon Foster, since week 5 until the Titans went to Miami. And over the last 2 weeks, 7 pressures allowed, 4 hurries, 1 quarterback hit, and 2 sacks attributed to him, courtesy of Pro Football Focus. Before we break down the film on Skoronski and break down him specifically compared to current All-Pros when they started their careers, I want to ask you how real the rookie wall is before we even get to Peter itself. At this point of the season, Peter Skoronski has put a lot of good tape out there and has had a solid first season until last week. How real is that?
I say it's probably week 13, 14 is when you start to feel it, because technically a college season is 12 games. And at that time right there, you're thinking to yourself, I remember when we hit 12 games, like, man, we still got 4 more weeks? Like, that happens from time to time. It does, depending on how much you're playing, depending on social life, depending upon winning and losing, too. Like, it will attack you, and it's no excuse for it. And here's the thing, too. By the time you get to the game, you're fine as much as you possibly can. But the bangs and, the bruises, the scrapes and cuts and stuff like that, and just the mental warfare week in and week out, it can be problematic at times. It can. But on teams where you're winning a lot, you can push through those moments. I'm sure for those guys, they're probably like, man, just get me to the offseason right now.
So Peter Skoronski did not allow a sack in 8 straight games, and now he has allowed a sack 2 games in a row. What's happening?
What's happening? On one of those sacks, to be fair, and the Miami one, and one he gave up in Miami, I feel like there should have been a ricochet of Bronsko or Throckmorton, Brewer coming back to Peter to move him over. That was a looper right there. They ran a game right there. So that one, I don't necessarily contribute to Peter, but it went through Peter's gap. Peter also needs communication. That's one thing that's been, discussed here with Coach Hoteling is what? Oh, what's the coaching and teaching like? Some of this stuff is learned through process. Oh, I got to mess up first before we correct this. I've told you this, but now we're going to work at it in practice and make an emphasis of it. That's the growth of playing offensive line and also being an offensive line coach in this league, too, is setting your guys up for success for their deficiencies. Minimizing those as much as you possibly can. And what we're going to do right here is pretty much Scout Meeting Wednesday when it comes down to what we're going to discuss. It'll be the left tackle, the young fella, Jalen Duncan, and also Peter Skoronski to give context on what's good, what's bad, and how long it takes for you to be a pro. And you'll see in the stuff that I have, it takes 3 years. And you know why? Because I looked at PFF, and the stats tell us that too. The history of playing this game tells us you don't become a pro until year 3. We're watching, we heard Ty Dunn mention Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell's walking into it right now into what is this, year 3 or 4 for him? And he's a guy that's a Pro Bowl type player. He's a stalwart on their offense. He's an anchor. So all the frustration that you have and just being livid with what the group does, this is just the process. This is all I've ever said from the time that you got him. We've heard Rand say this about him. We've heard Vrabel say it. Rhett has been huge on this. Coach Mack has said, this is growth. He's going to be a better left guard than he is tackle in this league, but it's going to take time. You grow and learn. That's just how it works. And what I have here is where they are, where Peter is, where Jalen is, and guys similar to the position where in their rookie year, and also by year 3 where they are. So here we go. As it stands right now for Peter Skoronski, he has 421 pass sets. He's got 26 pressures, and he's given up 3 stats if PFF is correct. And a lot of our fan base say PFF is law. Despite me saying, okay, that sack in Miami was probably more a split between him and Brewer, because Brewer's supposed to come back on that looper right there. That doesn't go into this. So he's 421 pass sets. Listen at the numbers, though, and we were saying he looks bad. He's got 26 pressures, but only 3 sacks. That ain't a bad year, y'all. 426, 3 sacks. That ain't a bad year. So similar guys to him. I went and found Quinn Nelson's rookie year, Joe Thuney, and also another rookie, Matthew Bergeron, also this year. Quinn Nelson, perennial all-pro guy, top 10 pick at guard, though, too. His rookie year, he had 703 pass sets, 23 pressures, and 2 sacks. His third year, 612. He had 15 pressures and 1 sack. He got better in year 3. He got better. He was already good. He was already a Pro Bowl, I think, but he got better. Joe Thuney has been crushing it for a very long time. His says this. In 2016, he was a rookie. He had 640 pass sets. I don't think I realize how much that is, too, to be one-on-one like that.
Yeah, right.
But 640. He had 45 pressures and 4 sacks given up. Now let's go to year 3. 629 pass sets, 23 pressures, 0 sacks. He got better in year 3, and he got better after those years, too. A comparison to Peter Skoronski is another rookie. He was drafted as a guard. Matthew Bergeron, he's a guard right now for the Atlanta Falcons and Arthur Smith's offense. He himself has 523 pass sets, 25 pressures, and 4 sacks. This is essentially lines up with Quentin Nelson and Joe Thuney in their rookie years. They're not bad. They're just young, and you're not winning. That's the basis of what this is. It's a process to become a good offensive lineman. It's a process of going from a college-style offense to becoming a pro. This is the natural progression of how it's supposed to be in this league, and that's why it's so hard to find good ones, is because you have the perception from either us in the media or coaches that don't have the patience or team that change coaches all the time, too. That's also the other context of it, too, is who's gotten fired? What is the offensive style from year to year? Are they able to stay in the same system? The same folks that want Tim Kelly fired are also the same people that need him to be here so you can develop. Not just Peter Skoronski, but also Will Levis. Understanding how to be pro, what's the system that's going to work for him? I personally think the system of Tim Kelly can work. But what you're dealing with right now is a young left guard, a young left tackle, a young quarterback. Those are 3 positions right there that you must have, specifically left tackle, too. So it's bothersome to say this guy sucks so he should play left tackle when I'm telling you right now his numbers comparably are very close to what Quentin Nelson's was or what Joe Thuney's was his rookie year. So when you bring up the question, well, put him at left tackle, he looks to me in his first year that he's a damn good left guard, too. Again, Peter Skoronski's first year is 421 pass sets so far. We're missing how many games? 3?
I think it was 3. Yeah.
3 games.
Yeah, he's weeks 2, 3, and 4. So, yeah, 3 games.
3 games. 26 pressures, only 3 sacks. Quentin Nelson, 704, 23 pressure, 2 sacks. He's on par with what he's supposed to be a real good player in this league at that position. I know you want the left tackle. You're going to either get Jalen Duncan again or you're going to go get a top 10 guy. That's where we are right now. Right now, it stands the Titans can go get a top 10 tackle in this league. And it's fascinating because I also have tackle stats, too. Y'all want to go through that? Any rebuttal?
Can I ask one question on that, actually?
Absolutely.
So with the guys that you listed as rookies, comparing their seasons and then how they got better in year 3, I also was interested in what was on the other side of them because Peter is also dealing with an ever-rotating left tackle.
Yes, that's very true.
And so I feel like that goes even more into anything that he's done. That is actually more impressive.
Yep. So that goes into the other conversation. So we discussed this in the green room the other day, too. When it comes down to building the offensive line, you can go get mercenaries the same way Cincinnati did, right? You can go get guys like Terran Armstead. You're going to pay an arm and a leg and an ear for, right? Because this is expensive to pay for those types of offensive linemen. But you usually only get those for 2 or 3 years. And you need to be in that window of really competing. Right now, we can all be real with ourselves and say the Titans aren't in the window of really competing. So you know what you do? You go into the mud, into the trenches, and you go draft a Peter. You hope Jalen hits. You may find a center, and you might have a very value guy in Daniel Brunskill or Throckmorton, right? That's what you want, and that's how you build. Because if you can build those guys up, then guess what you get? Sustainability. Those dudes never hit the market. And when your guys never hit the market, excuse me, when your guys never hit the market, the price is a little bit cheaper. You're going to pay him a premium. Peter's going to get paid at a premium because he's a first rounder. Yeah. But you keep your guys, and you can balance the cap a whole lot easier than saying, I'm going to go pay $31 million for a left tackle in Orlando Brown Jr. and they may not even still make the Super Bowl because their franchise quarterback is hurt.
Is that the most important position, the O-line, to be homegrown?
It is. 100%. Because you're not mercenaries. They're your guys. The culture is set by the bigs.
So you're saying 3 to 4 sacks allowed as a rookie at the guard position is right on pace with becoming a good player in this league. Yeah. Quentin Nelson was what, 3 sacks?
Quentin Nelson was.
As a rookie?
Yes, he was.
Joe Tooney
2
was
sacks.
2 sacks. Joe Tooney was 4.
4. With 45 pressures, because pressures
Right.
get brought up often.
Right.
Yep.
For perspective, for the other extreme, and the last time the Titans used a top 12 pick on an interior offensive lineman, go back to 2013 when now Seattle Seahawk, former Tennessee Titan Chance Warmack was the number 10 overall pick, allowed 7 sacks as a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
What did Chance end up doing?
Nothing.
Okay, then.
I mean, Peter Skoronski is still far away from being the Chance Warmack level as a rookie. Chance Warmack also did not have appendicitis in the middle of his rookie year. And I do think there is something to be said that Peter Skoronski came back and did not allow a sack in the month following losing about 15 pounds and having to have his appendix removed in the middle of the season. That is a variable you can't completely overlook when you tell the story of his rookie year. It does not excuse the fact that, look, he's not been great these past couple of weeks. And those sacks allowed in the last 2 games have nothing to do with the fact that he had appendicitis. But I do think that is important context, right, in telling the story of his first season. So before we get to Jalen Duncan and the tackle position, Ramon, for the Titans fan or person out there already labeling Peter Skoronski as a bust, what is your reaction to that?
Foolish. I don't want to call them idiots. Foolish. It just is. Again, guys get better, and even much more so at the tackle position. They get better from year 1 to year 3. It's year 1 is, hey, welcome to the NFL, young fella, figure it out, but you better fight. Has Peter Skoronski to you guys been a fighter out there?
Absolutely, 100%, and he's a pro in every way.
He caught a stinger last week that broke him to his knees, and he went and put a friggin' neck collar on and went right back out there to finish the game. He might have missed 2 snaps. He's a fighter. Jalen Duncan's a fighter. We've seen those things be apparent. Year 2, adjustment. Catch your stride. Get a little bit better. Let's see what you look like. By year 3, you should be a walking pro. And that's what we're looking for.
Sure.
In year 3 to be a walking pro. Because that's when you really get judged. Most times, if you're not a first rounder, you got a 3-year, 4-year deal. They decide if they're going to pay you, extend you. You're one of our cornerstone pieces. That's the way the league works. So to say a guy is terrible in his first year, when I'm telling you his stat line and numbers line up exactly as Quentin Nelson, Joe Tooney. And then there's other rookies too that were second-round picks, Cody Mauch and Steve Avila, all of them. Cody Mauch actually has 39 pressures and 6 sacks given up as a rookie. I would say Peter's doing a whole lot better than Cody Mauch, and I know for a fact here a lot of people loved and liked Cody Mauch.
Yeah.
That was the Senior Bowl guy.
Yes, he was.
Coming out of North Dakota State, right?
Yes, he was. Tackles real quick. You want to go through these?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
The names that I have are there's one outlier, and that's Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing, too. Laramie Tunsil also played guard his rookie year, too.
And without video surfacing right before the draft started, Laramie Tunsil could have easily still been the number 1 overall pick when he came out.
And he still went 10?
Yeah, he went 10.
Yeah, he didn't drop
So-
too far.
I mean,
Miami.
okay. Comparison to Jalen Duncan. Jalen Duncan's numbers right now real fast. He has 168 setbacks, pass sets, 25 pressures, and it says 6 sacks right now. Tyron Smith, first year. This is awesome. I told you Jalen has 8 sacks, or 6. Tyron Smith has 641 pass snap, 30 pressures, and 8 sacks allowed his rookie year.
How many games?
That's 641 snaps. It's probably over the season.
That's
Okay.
a full season.
Full
yeah.
season.
And
But also, he was at right tackle.
Okay.
He was at right tackle.
Okay.
So his third year, he's at left tackle. I don't like this number of snaps he had, but he had 666 pass snaps. In his third year at left tackle, 666 pass snaps, 31 pressures, 1 sack.
And that was year
3.
3. Okay.
Year 3, Laramie Tunsil started at guard, but I'll go year 2 where he started at left tackle. His first year starting at left tackle, 600 pass sets, 32 pressures, 5 sacks. His third year, got to be a pro, right? And we're going to tweet all this out. Year 3, 491 pass sets, 23 pressures, and 2 sacks. Give me another perennial all-pro guy you want. Okay, I got one. Never mind. Let's go Trent Williams. 2010 was his rookie year. 589. Oh, man, Trent's even worse than I thought. 589 pass sets. He had 46 pressures allowed. 11 sacks contributed to him his rookie year at left tackle. 11 sacks contributed to him. Year 3, 589 pass sets, 31 pressures, 2 sacks. From year 1 to year 3, the product ain't perfect in year 1. It never will be. The only one that had an amazing year was friggin', I think it was Joe Thomas. Joe Thomas gave up 0 sacks, and I think like 11.
Yeah, he's just
first ballot
being.
Hall of Fame,
Despite
too.
playing for a trash can organization, he was a first ballot Hall of Famer.
You've brought this up numerous times. Andrew Thomas.
Yeah.
Andrew Thomas, his rookie year was in 2020, the COVID year where you couldn't judge people really, right? 615 pass set, 57 pressures, 10 sacks. By year 3, 619 pass sets, 21 pressures. So he went from 57 to 21 and only gave up 3 sacks. Jalen Duncan, again, has given up 25 pressures and allowed 6 sacks. I've talked to people inside that building and also other football people, too, that says if you can train him with the mentality and the mindset that, look, every play is you're on, you're never off. Guess what happens from that? You can build off of him. And the thing about Jalen Duncan is this, and he's still cheap enough and young enough that you can go get a first rounder this year. You can go get a top 10 guy this year. This ain't a stand on the soapbox for Jalen Duncan. This is just let you know it's not as bad as you think. And you're dealing with rookies, with a rookie quarterback, with a new offensive coordinator, too. Those are the things that we're talking about here. And you're losing. So it's highlighted even more. These are dudes, and, of course, to end with this, and I got more on this list.
Were they top round, like,
they were first rounders.
Yeah,
right, and this
rounders.
is, let's
All
remember,
first
too, Jalen Duncan is a 6th-round pick, people, who he has played in 8 games so far.
High upside. So, Taylor Lewan, and I went to year 2 for him because he only had like 100 snaps this rookie year. He was drafted in 2014, but I'll do 2015 as a full-time starter. And he was dad to this fan base for a while because he earned it and he grew into boss hog, did he not? Yes, he did. So here we go, 2015 as a full-time starter for Taylor Lewan, the best left tackle that has been here in the last 10, 12, 15 years possibly, okay? Full-time starter, he had 586 pass sets, 23 pressures, and allowed 8 sacks by year 3. Year 3 for Taylor Lewan. Here in Nashville, Tennessee, you saw his growth. 560 pass sets, 24 pressures, still about the same amount of pressures, but only 2 sacks given up in his 3rd year.
That's why you need 2 draft cycles to build an entire offensive line. And it's excellent breakdown from you about the perspective on this because we are too quick to call guys busts for many of us who don't understand the position that we are watching. Ramon Foster understands the position that we are watching and acting like experts on. It's easier for us to call a wide receiver a bust when he's not catching footballs that are thrown his way, right?
Right.
Skill players that are more on an island. If a defensive back is giving up touchdowns left and right, it's easier for me to look at that and say, the guy can't track the ball in the air, he's a bust. But again, even as rookies, how many times is a rookie a bona fide bust? It is not often. I mean, truly, Isaiah Wilson is the only guy that as a rookie, we could put pen to paper and say bust. Even Caleb Farley, we didn't know after 1 year if he was a bust or not. I think we know that now.
Yeah.
But it is hard to give somebody an identity for their NFL career off of 1 year at the position with the highest learning curve possible.
And that's why when you're rebuilding like this team is, the biggest thing you have to have is a little bit of patience. Unfortunately, it sucks, but you got to have it.
You do.
And those numbers proved it.